Walking in Shadow. It's Jason. It's good to see everybody. Hope you're doing well. Uh, the title of today's DST. It's not clickbait. It's just daylight savings time. You may think, well, daylight savings time. What's so spiritual about that? Nothing in a sense, but in a way, it's very important. The reason being that whenever I'm talking about things, I try to either have an anecdote or example about real life situations that apply, that I hope are applied universally. But, everybody's different. There's really no telling. So I just do my best to try to convey what I'm talking about, and hope it sticks. But I thought that it was advantageous to actually bring up daylight savings time because it's a concept that at least the American viewers are familiar with. Spring forward, fall back. I think most of you are probably affected by it in some way, negatively or positively, or you're at least aware of it because it's just happening. Yesterday, I thought it would be a good time to point out the idea of a social construct or a imaginary concept, or always bring up the four agreements. This is a thing that we all agree on, that time has changed when it actually hasn't. Another way that this is familiar, again with American viewers, is that the time zones, when you change time, well, I guess it's true for everybody, but maybe not as, because the United States is so wide, I guess you could say, with the states, that, like, say I'm in East Tennessee, and if I were to go to Nashville, which I do, going there is a shorter, it's not a shorter trip in miles, but it's the same trip in miles, but it's shorter in time to go there and longer in time to come back from there, because halfway between Nashville and Knoxville, there is a time change. So you go to Central, and it's an hour earlier. You gain an hour, come back this way, and it's you gain an hour or lose an hour. When in reality, it's the exact same miles and whatever, but we just accept it. Now phones and cars even change, the clocks change. Older people like myself, quite accustomed to having to actually change the clock on the car or wherever, change everything back or forward as needed. So the point of this being that time is, it's a concept, it's a construct. It's, the old adage, time doesn't exist, clocks exist. Or our telling and our way of marking events that occurred in the past or may occur in the future are all based on time and a system. So I would say, perhaps you can look at other parts of your life or other things in life that are not really real, that actually have real world consequences, but depending on your concept of reality and which world is important to you. But if you have a job or kids that go to school, or if you ever have any kind of appointment ever, All of those things are chopped up into little parcels of time. And so then we believe that time is absolutely real, and we're inside of of it. I don't have enough time, or I'm running late. I'm out of time, or whatever. And it's all just a mental agreement, a construct that we've all agreed on. So we're all following the rules of it. Um, that's why I say it. It just seemed like a really good time to bring that up, so that my hope is that you can examine other aspects of your life that may also be agreed upon social constructs, um, or systems, in order to um, keep you pinned in, keep you in the pen. Um, I'm not free of these things. I absolutely have to adhere to schedules and things of that nature, but I just accept it as my role in the 3D world. Just like right now, I want to always post my new video on Monday. It's Monday. It's the day we call Monday. We all agree it's Monday, so I do them at Monday at night. Night's real. It's the time when the sun is not above us. Uh, you know, the whole concept of daylight savings time is a thing for farmers, and in a kind of agrarian uh, world, a world where people live more in tune with nature, then that's important. And a lot of religions and spiritual belief systems have different seasons and important holidays dependent on seasons. It's a lot of things that we all agree on. Now, a lot of that is tradition. A lot of it is, I guess, it's fact. It's a fact that if you have a job and you're scheduled to be there at a time and you don't show up, you're going to have a problem. But it's just that I'm just trying to help people understand that while all of that exists, and it is true, and I'm not telling people to just live apart from that, because nothing would ever get done again. Um, it's just important to realize that just like that is a system that has been in place for a long time, longer than anybody watching has been alive, or maybe even their parents or their parents. It's been a system that's been put in place and been worked and reworked and refined and mastered to the point where, you know, it just is, and we accept it. So, in the same vein, there are lots of other things that I guess if you just try to think about, what is reality, and what is my role in it, and what is important to me, and the important, well, I would say important to those you love, but important to those you love is also like a subgroup of what's important to me. So I just, our lives, like I've said many times, our lives are not, if they are on a measurement that where there's a ending that is known, we don't know it. If we did, life would possibly be much easier because we would know sort of how to space it out or figure it out or whatever. But um, since it's not, you just can't like make an assumption that things are going to happen in a certain way because you're just setting yourself up for failure. I mean, if you can remain adaptable, uh, life, I wouldn't say life becomes easier, but it becomes much, well, it is easier to navigate when you are able to adapt to changes versus resisting them. Resisting changes is like trying to, you know, shove back a hurricane. I mean, it's just not going to happen, you know. But you can prepare to an extent. You can have a mindset of, I say, adaptability. It's good to know your limits. It's good to know what you will or will not do, what you are comfortable with, what you're not comfortable with, what you will accept, what you won't accept, and to apply those things in a way where you can live a life that is free of external influence. Now, if it may seem counterproductive for me to tell people watching my videos to avoid external influence because then I'm saying, don't listen to me. Well, don't. But I just feel like if I don't say it, why would anybody else? You know? I mean, I'm just speaking my truth. And I hope that it, reaches people, it touches them, and helps them in their own lives in some way. I have no idea how. But I know that I must still speak it anyway. So it's just important to accept the parts of the system that you must accept as far as, like, just in order to survive and thrive, all that in a 3D world. But there's a lot of parts of said system that are just not helpful. And they're not the same for everybody. You have to, put the magnifying lens on your own life and just decide what parts are important and what parts aren't. And you really have to do some work. You have to really get in there and look at yourself in the mirror, or just look at yourself in your mind, listen to your heart, accept it, and then, the parts that don't work, find a way to adapt and live without them, or to integrate them in a way that is actually helpful to you versus helpful in the perceived social construct. Because I mean, it's your life ultimately. How'd you go from daylight saving time to telling people how to live their life? I'm not telling people how to live their life. I'm just saying that, Darwin didn't say only the strong survive. He said that those who are most adaptable to change will survive. And that's just the truth. I mean, regardless, people are like, well, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. I mean, if you don't know what is going to happen with yourself, how can you have this superiority to know what the entire world's going to do? Well, I saw it on the news, which is a business, and it runs on ratings. So they're not going to talk about medium things. They're going to talk about big things and big perceptions in order to keep you watching their TV and their ads, just like a YouTube video that has ads, wants you to watch the ads. That's how they make money. That's how the media companies make money. That's how everybody makes money, is just keep you watching. So, if you don't want to be scared of the news and scared of the world, then go watching the news. But if I don't know the news, I won't know what's happening. Won't you? You know what happened. You know what happened yesterday, regardless of what happened anywhere else. I try to avoid political and world issues because it's counterproductive to the idea of global unity, which is going to have to be achieved at some point. Even if we continually push it back, it can either happen as a unity consciousness and a global unity movement from the people because they want it, or it can be a unified system created by others who decide what we want to have. They're going to decide for us. So, you can just choose, I guess, It's just important to pay attention to social constructs, to social expectations, to, if you want to watch the news and be informed, go ahead, but don't just watch the news. Or maybe watch all the news channels, even the ones you don't like, and see if you can find what is true to you in it. I don't know. I hope that you understand what I'm trying to get at. I understand what I'm trying to get at. I like to think I'm pretty good at communicating those things, but maybe not. I don't know. The important thing here, though, I guess, is that just like daylight savings time, it's a thing that was invented by man in order to have beneficial effects for other men. And I mean man like mankind, don't trip. But, or human, whatever, humanity. So maybe, when you make decisions and regarding whoever it is you care about, hopefully yourself is number one at the top of that list, which I'll talk about sooner or later, that putting yourself first is not selfish. It's just necessary. If you want to love others, you have to love yourself. But I'm not going to stray to that topic today. It's just important to just, use discernment and make real decisions for yourself. It's your life, after all. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll be looking forward to talking to you again soon. Take it easy.